Imagine if every Bible question was just one more step on your spiritual journey. That's exactly what we're going to experience here together. Get ready for some precious time of learning and fellowship. If this content blesses you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's grow in faith together. Which mountain did Abraham go to sacrifice Isaac? F. Mount Sinai. B. Mount Horeb. C. Mount Moriah. D. Mount of Olives. Correct answer, C. Mount Moriah. Verse. Take now your son, your only son Isaac, whom you love, and go to the land of Moriah, and offer him there as a burnt offering on one of the mountains that I will tell you about. Genesis 22 verse 2. God told Abraham to take Isaac to Mount Moriah to sacrifice him as a test of faith. At the last moment, God spared Isaac and provided a ram instead. This act showed Abraham's unshakable faith and symbolically pointed to Jesus' future sacrifice. Which of these insects did John the Baptist eat in the wilderness? A. Ant. B. Locust. C. Bee. D. Cricket. Correct answer, B. Locust. Verse, Matthew 3 verse 4. Now John wore clothing made of camel's hair, with a leather belt around his waist, and his food was locusts and wild honey. John the Baptist lived a simple, devoted life in the desert. His diet of locusts and wild honey reflected his detachment from material things and commitment to his prophetic mission. He preached repentance and prepared the way for Jesus, just like the old prophets had foretold. After Judas Iscariot's betrayal and death, Paul was chosen as the 12th apostle of Jesus Christ. If true. B. False. Correct answer, B. False. Verse. And they proposed to Joseph called Barsabas, who was also known as Justus, and Matthias. And they prayed, saying, Lord, you know everyone's heart. Show us which one of these two you have chosen to take over this apostolic ministry, which Judas left to go where he belongs. Then they cast lots, and the lot fell to Matthias, so he was added to the 11 apostles. Acts 1 verses 23 to 26. After Judas died, the disciples sought God's guidance to choose his replacement among the 12. Matthias was chosen by casting lots between two candidates. Paul, although he became a major apostle later, was called by Jesus in a vision and was not directly chosen to replace Judas. How did the priest Eli die? A. He was wounded in battle. B. He fell off a chair and broke his neck. C. He was attacked by Philistines. D. He died of old age in his bed. Correct answer, B. He fell off a chair and broke his neck. Verse. When he mentioned the ark of God, Eli fell backward off his chair by the gate, broke his neck, and died, for he was old and heavy. He had judged Israel 40 years. 1 Samuel 4 verse 18. Eli died tragically upon hearing that the Ark of the Covenant had been captured by the Philistines and that his two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, had died. The news shocked him so much that he fell backward, broke his neck, and died. This marked the end of his ministry as judge and priest in Israel and highlights the spiritual consequences of his son straying from God's ways. When the floodwaters receded, where does the Bible say Noah's Ark came to rest? F. Mount Sinai. B. Mount Carmel. C. Mount of Olives. D. Mountains of Ararat. Correct answer, D. Mountains of Ararat. Verse. The ark rested on the 7th month, on the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat. Genesis 8 verse 4. After the great flood, Noah's ark didn't just drift forever. The Bible tells us that when the waters began to go down, the ark landed on the mountains of Ararat, a mountain range located in what is now Turkey. This moment marked the beginning of Earth's restoration and a new covenant between God and humanity. David's great-grandmother, one of Israel's most important and notable kings, was not an Israelite. She was Moabite. If true, be false. Correct answer, true. Verse. But Ruth said, "Don't urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go I will go, and where you stay I will stay. Your people will be my people and your God my God." Ruth 1 verse 16. Explanation. David's great-grandmother was Ruth, a Moabite woman who joined Israel after her husband died. With faith and loyalty, she followed her mother-in-law Naomi and served the God of Israel. Ruth married Boaz and became part of David's genealogy, and later, Jesus, Matthew 1 verse 5. Her story beautifully shows redemption and inclusion in the messianic line, even though she was a foreigner. On which mountain did Moses receive the 2 tablets of the law? If. Mount Carmel. B. Mount Horeb. C. Mount Sinai. D. Mount of Olives. Correct answer, C. Mount Sinai. Verse. Moses went up the mountain, and the cloud covered the mountain. The glory of the Lord settled on Mount Sinai, Exodus 24 verses 15 to 16. It was on Mount Sinai that God gave Moses the 2 tablets of the law, known as the 10 Commandments. This moment is a major milestone in the Bible, representing God's covenant with Israel. The giving of the law symbolizes God's holiness and the call for obedience. Which ruler ordered John the Baptist's beheading, having his head brought on a platter? Pontius Pilate. B. Herod Antipas. C. Caesar Augustus. D. Tiberius Caesar. Correct answer, B. Herod Antipas. Verse. And he sent and had John beheaded in the prison. His head was brought on a platter and given to the girl, and she carried it to her mother. Matthew 14 verses 10 to 11. Herod Antipas, pressured by Herodias' daughter during a banquet, ordered John the Baptist's beheading. The young girl asked for the prophet's head on a platter, influenced by her mother, who held a grudge against John for condemning her marriage to Herod. This sad scene shows how rash decisions and pride can lead to cruel acts. How many books of the Bible were written by Solomon? A. 2. B. 3. C. 4. D. 5. Correct answer, B. 3. Verses. Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Israel. Proverbs 1 verse 1. The words of the preacher, son of David, king in Jerusalem. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 1. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Song of Solomon 1 verse 1. Solomon is traditionally recognized as the author of 3 Bible books, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, and Song of Solomon, also called Song of Songs. These books reflect his wisdom, philosophy, and views on love, life, and spirituality. Who does the serpent lifted by Israel in the wilderness represent, according to Numbers 21:9? A. Moses. B. God. C. Jesus Christ. D. Aaron. Correct answer, C. Jesus Christ. Verse. The Lord said to Moses, "Make a snake and put it up on a pole, anyone who is bitten can look at it and live." Numbers 21:8-9. The bronze serpent Moses lifted in the desert is a prophetic symbol of Jesus Christ, who would be lifted on the cross to bring salvation to everyone who believes in him, John 3 verses 14-15. Just as the Israelites were healed by looking at the serpent, people today are saved by faith in Jesus. Thanks for being here. This is our little corner of faith and learning, and you're part of it. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss any videos. Let's keep growing together in the Word. And remember, every time you watch and share, you help spread God's love.